Let me tell you something that was really kind of contradictory as well. Juan is in a relationship, but he's still cool with Carla. This is weird to me. Who is this girlfriend? If you are of the belief that you gonna be texting my man about,
she friends with Carla. They go out together. They go to the coffee shop together. All three.
I don't find this funny.
Neo style. All three of them.
That was funny. Not Neo's, his pyramid, his Ponzi scheme of love. Hey, my loves. Welcome back to our channel. We are finally at the Married at First Sight reunion. This is your girl, Zar Eleanor, and my beautiful husband, Joseph Conner. Hey. And you are now on the Conner's couch. We are chatting all things Married at First Sight, but I figured we talk about our day and last night. So last night, I kind of threw Joe like a little in the house birthday dinner. We invited our family and a couple friends over. Did you have a good time, honey?
Yeah, it was perfect, and I ate to my heart's content. So thank you for making that.
Yeah, like
Thanksgiving meal.
I did a lot yesterday, y'all, to the point where I got in bed and was like done.
Yes.
Like I was like, I'm not cooking for another month. Even though I want some fried fish, I might cook that. But I made some oxtails. I did. So my biggest thing now is that I like to bake our birthday cakes. So, and it's funny because I was preparing this because I wanted, when I have kids, for me to be the person that can bake their cakes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So now that's what I've been doing. So I've been really kind of testing it on Joe.
Yeah, but also you're the best baker in Las Vegas. You know what I mean? No shade to the Las Vegas.
Misha killed it on those cupcakes.
Misha's cupcakes was also very good, which is also rare.
Very rare.
You know what I mean? Like people bring stuff, but I don't be expecting it too much. But we do a lot of our own baking just because we're just the best here that we know of. And then our friend Misha also joined that category. I didn't know she could bake. Like she made these little cupcakes.
Can I bake some cupcakes? I said, girl, we like variety. They were
good.
Fantastic. And it's funny because I don't eat my own baked goods. Like I'll eat my pound cake, but like Joe likes red velvet cake, and now I'm like, I've kind of gotten my recipe down to like a T, but I don't really like red velvet cake like that. I'll just eat it because it's cake in the house.
Yeah.
But he loves it, so I bake it. Even though I wanted to do something different this year. Next year, I'm just going to do something different. Because I make red velvet cake all the time.
It's the best one.
The point is that we had oxtails, we had chicken. It was kind of jerk, kind of baked. I didn't have a lot of green seasoning left. I did salmon, macaroni and cheese, cilantro rice, and some cabbage, y'all. I was cooking, damn. And when I tell you, I had nothing left to get. Oh, and I made the best cornbread, y'all. It was MOIST. I hate that word. But it was so,
Yeah.
Because I had been craving that. But it was a good night. It was a really good night. We had a lot of fun. So shout out to all our family and friends that came over. Just to kind of chit-chat and hang out and help my husband get a little bit older or whatever the case may be. So I hope you had a good time, honey.
Yeah, I did.
Let's dig on into Married at First Sight, the reunion. When I say that this is a good-looking cast, when it first came on, I thought, wow, these are some good-looking people. And I guess, like, you know, we all kind of, like, look our natural ways and then get ourselves together. And we look, you know, like, we doing the damn thing. I was really proud of them. Everybody looked really, really nice. Michelle looked wonderful. I don't give a damn what nobody say. That woman looked good. Okay?
Yeah, she did look good, and she's probably had the biggest physical transformation out of everybody.
She looked, I know.
It's like, yeah.
Which is crazy because I don't think she did anything crazy.
I think she just, losing weight it's life-changing for certain people. I think I noticed it when we filmed with her that she had lost a significant amount of weight.
Yeah, she looked very good
then. She also just looked a little bit more, put together.
But whatever she did, whoever did the makeup, whoever did everything, she looked perfect. And I just really thought they were a good-looking group of people. Camille and Thomas are still married, thank God. I was a little bit nervous that they wouldn't be.
I wasn't really nervous about that. Like I told y'all, I think that Thomas is really about this. And the minute he said, go ahead, F it, you can come live in my shack, I knew, oh no, he's serious about this. So I really wasn't surprised. I would have been shocked if they weren't. I was fully expecting them to still be together.
But I like that they're living their life. They actually moved into a new place. Mm-hmm. So it feels like they're kind of like getting their feet and everything.
Yeah, they doing it. They out here in the real world. You know what I mean? That's the real testament, like what you do when the cameras turn off. And they out here doing it. They got their own spot. They road tripping and stuff together.
Yay! They went to London.
Of real marriage. So yeah, I like that they out here just doing it.
I felt like, first of all, I want to say this. Kevin is a wonderful host.
It's not up for debate. Kevin is the best host to me.
He's
Kevin
the
get on
best.
our nerves sometimes, but the one thing that I got to give him credit for is a lot of the stuff that y'all hear us complaining about when we watch other reunions, I can't ever say that I complain about the same thing when I see Kevin, right? People dancing around questions and people not holding people's feet to the fire and people not asking the questions that everybody is thinking and wants to hear. Kevin don't do that. Kevin is straight to the point. He be staring through these people's souls. He don't let them tap dance around and all that other stuff. I appreciate Kevin just cutting straight to the meat and potatoes. I really do.
David and Madison are together. They showed up in 2007 Prom Realness. Okay, giving Men's Warehouse down to the socks.
Yeah, Men's Warehouse.
I was like, okay.
K and G.
Very much K and the G. But let me tell y'all something that really tickled my soul. David says, I moved out my mom's basement. So I'm thinking like, oh, that's dope. Like he got his own place. Only for us to find out that he moved in with Madison, which was kind of like...
But yo, he not in the basement no more. That was the point. Like, that was the whole point.
No,
we got to stop moving the goalposts.
No, the whole point is that the whole point is not that you should go from living in your mother's basement.
Yes, but he's no longer in the basement. So we can we move on from the basement talk, Michelle's in the world?
I'm going to be honest with y'all, and y'all not going to like this. The more information I get about this situation, the more I want to apologize to Michelle. And that's really because as a person whose intuition be on mother jumping point, this situation is so, it's not even that it's deep, because I told y'all, by the time we get to the reunion, nobody's going to give a damn. You know what I mean? Like, because at this point...
And it seemed like it held true for the cast. They was fairly like...
Who cares? At this point, like, who cares? And I think what happens is, what we're not saying is that in the real world, being married at first sight seems unserious. Mm-hmm. So people don't give it the weight that I think, you know, like I said, marriage should get, or whatever the case may be. So when they out in the real world, nobody's checking them then. You know what I mean? Or saying like that ain't cool or whatever like that. So when they have these things that they do, it's like, or these antics where they're doing, swapping couples and all this stuff like that. It's just kind of like, well, whatever. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because in the real world, Joe, none of these people, if that happens in the real world, we're not friends.
Oh, for sure.
And we also have to normalize not wishing people the best. I don't wish you the worst. I don't wish you nothing because I don't think about you at all.
And that's the...
And we gotta meet people there, because so much of this, when Kevin asked him, well, and I'm going to jump all around because that's the way my brain is working right now.
But that's also kind of how they did. So.
Oh, okay. So when Kevin asked Madison and Alan to say something nice to each other, Alan shouldn't have said a nice thing out his mouth. He should have said, I wish nothing for Madison, because Madison didn't wish anything for me. And the truth is, we have to normalize that.
Yeah, because I'm really cut from the cloth of, you know, oh, well, what do you think about your ex? I don't think about... I don't even... Y'all love a closure conversation. Y'all love to be friends. Y'all was down bad for friends in the dating world that I came up in. Everybody wanted to still be friends. Why
are we still being friends?
For what? I got enough friends. Also, I didn't come into this process looking for friends or any dating process, right? Forget married at first sight.
Right.
I don't go into the dating world
looking for
looking
a friend.
to find a friend.
Even though I tried to friend zone Joe, he was not with it.
You
I'd be
can
like,
call-
we are friends.
You can call a chicken a mongoose. You know what I mean? You can call a house a boat. You can call a car a motorcycle. It doesn't change what it actually is. And I had to tell Zar in her delusional self back in the day, like you could paint us as whatever, but every time we around each other, you're my woman. You know what I mean? And that's just how we are. We just always had that dynamic. Even when we was friends, we was doing too much. Before we were officially together, the vibe was just always very flirtatious, very, very romantic vibe. You know what I mean?
He was always trying to woo me.
I'm like, we're never going to be friends. I literally had to tell her that, like, we're never going to be friends.
He literally told me that, y'all. That's not a joke. But that's why I'm saying what I'm saying. I think we are at the point where everybody, and I think this is social media. I think this is being on TV. Everybody wants to be their higher self, when in truth, you just need to be yourself. Yeah. And myself today, like I can say, because really what it is Alan said something to Michelle, like, I don't want it to come off like they can still control any part of how I'm feeling or whatever the case may be. And I feel like that's the truth. And I get that and I agree with him on that. David and Madison should not be able to control how Alan feels. At this point, he should have processed it. But however, you can still pay them dust. Why are we acting like we gotta have such a nice thing to say about everybody?
But you know what? I think you clocked it perfectly. On TV, when you say on TV, I think everybody is so extra cautious about their edit. And that's really because I'm going to give them grace, right? The reality TV participants, I'll say, of today, because I think we throw around the word star too much. Everybody's a star. There was a commercial during the Super Bowl where they were talking about everybody in the workplace was a rock star, and then they actually brought in the rock star. He was like, well, y'all stop saying that. That's how I feel. Everybody's not a star. You know what I mean? So I'll say the reality TV participants of today, they are in a hyper-vigilant, hypersensitive social media age. So I understand, being cautious of it and it having a natural effect on how you move. Hell, we went through it, right? We this year filmed on a reality TV show, specifically this one. But at the same time, I do think that if you can't do it and then still be okay with just being yourself, you should not do it. Like, I want to give y'all grace about being cautious, but you're right. Everybody is their representative.
And that is why I am apologizing to Michelle. Because at the very least, good, bad, or indifferent, she gave us who she was at the moment. You know what I mean? And I feel like instead of people, Ikechi, Juan, David, Madison, wanting to be seen as a good person, they missed the mark on being good people. Does that make sense?
Or just being themselves. You know what I mean? Now, I'm not going to go as far as to say I'm apologizing to Michelle. I will say that the one thing I can give Michelle is that I do feel like she was authentically herself. And I think when she was a terrorist, she was authentically a terrorist.
Yes.
I think when she was an investigator, she was authentically an investigator. And so I do think in a world and in a season where it feels like so many people are self-producing, I will give her that much.
It was refreshing. And the truth of the matter is, that's why in the reunion, it feels like she does not have much to answer for, because she already gave us everything. We don't have to litigate everything that we saw, because we saw what was the truth in her moment. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. The problem is where we have to litigate is all the gray areas that are created by people who are self-producing. And that gets like exhausting and icky. The truth of the matter is that Madison and David have been feeling each other since the honeymoon. I don't care what anybody say. The reason why David, and I like David, and I really do. As a human, I like David. But the truth of the matter is, the reason why you allowed Michelle Because now we see how you ain't got no tick, no time for it. So we know you have the capability to shut a bitch down when she getting on your nerves, right? We know you can do it. You didn't just create the spine out of nowhere. You been had it in you, but you knew that you was over here trying to lay a seed with Madison. So you said, I'm going to let her cook. I'm going to let her do her thing. So then I could just kind of be over here and do what I want to do. That sleight of hand, I can't get past. I can accept that y'all together, y'all love each other. I think it's sweet, whatever, move on. But I also can say, I don't give a fuck about y'all and I don't think about y'all. And that's what Alan should have told them motherfuckers.
And I get that. I think maybe part of, I'm going to try to give Alan some grace in that we talk about being true to yourself.
Yeah.
I get that, just from the brief time that we met Alan, it genuinely might be himself, you know what I mean? And I would even go as far as to say that, like, when he was crashing out at the Airbnb, that was not himself, right? He seems like he's genuinely the person who would be like, yeah, I wish you the best, you know what I mean?
I agree with
that.
He
does seem like
I
that. So maybe that
that
is him being himself.
I believe that is him being himself. I just think we have to bring back shame. The reason why
Shame.
I'm so serious,
Shame.
the reason why a lot of people have been acting the way they do, we do not shame people enough. You put your ass out on the Instagram, we should shame you. Nobody should be like giving you 1 million likes. They should shame you for that stuff. You want to go out here and cheat on your wife who really don't like you like that. Shame, 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 shame. And the problem is that this community, this millennial landscape is like, it's too much like, we'll figure it out. Everybody, and I believe everybody makes mistakes, but I also believe in shame. Mm-hmm. I believe that just because you made a mistake does not mean you should be absolved of it because time has gone by. Mm-hmm. You should not be absolved of it because in your mind, you got a good reason why you did it. No, you did something wrong. You know what I mean? And we should shame you because of that. The reason why we are in the political landscape that we are in is because we don't shame people enough. You should feel bad about the things you do. That's just life. You know what I mean? And what bothered me more was when they played the footage about Madison at the couples retreat, that clip that was like a behind never before seen clip, and she going in on Michelle.
She was going,
knowing she was lying through her motherfucking teeth.
She was going in.
That was creepy as hell to me.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Because I've lied.
Yeah, like everybody's lied. And that's the thing. Like, we're not trying to say, speak from a perfect perspective. But it was crazy to see the 360 of, Madison being like, why would she even keep my name out your mouth type energy? At the same time, in the same day, having to then turn around and be like, you know what? You're right.
And the truth is, they should have put it in there. That was the producers being polite because it should have been in there because that would have told us a lot more about Madison's personality as well. Because you high key look crazy.
Yeah.
Like, because if you can hold those two thoughts and in the same day flip on what you just said, that would have made the episode even better, bro.
Yeah.
But the episode, the truth
it was already
a great
they didn't have no more time to put in, especially with the 10,000
it would have been
commercials.
the problem is that we don't get enough of these people's personalities, right?
Yes.
So the production has to almost cut and piece these moments where you get glimpses into who these people are so you can actually make a sound decision about them.
And even then you don't get it because they in group chats self-producing.
And that's my issue with the Michelle and David thing. I could have such a staunch feeling about Michelle because I only got to see Michelle show up as Michelle. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking David is showing up as David, right? Like fully. When in fact, he's doing all these other things. I don't have the full information. Mm-hmm. So now I'm watching it like, now wait a minute. I would have been cussing his funky dog head ass out too. Like, who cares? You know what I mean? Because no, I probably wouldn't have been. I'm gonna be honest. I'm just not that kind of person. I don't feel like I gotta give people smoke in that regard. But I do feel like that showing up as yourself authentically and then being in spaces around people. But that, you know what that is? Michelle's 40 years old. She don't have it to be like trying to contort herself. She like, bitch, I work all day. I got to be fake and smiling with these people. I'm not coming home to do that with you too. Mm-hmm. I do think that has a lot to do with it.
It probably does, yeah.
MM got a man at home and at the reunion, child.
But why are we bringing him to the reunion now? Like, y'all, he's actually not a part of the cast. Like, he wasn't. He didn't like go through the process and like get vetted and then get paired with MM in the on the show. I just think, why are y'all milking this like that? It's okay. Y'all could just tell us like y'all tell everybody else when over half the cast isn't in a relationship and then is in a relationship with somebody else. Y'all could have just told us like MM is engaged. She's moving on with her new man, Exhibit A.
Do she know how this look?
No chance. I think she thinks this is going great for me. A part of me just thinks that in her mind she believes that they are Barack and Michelle. I think that's really what she believes.
Talking about Barack and Michelle. Ikechi and MM sit down. Ikechi, you could tell he is so glad this is over.
He got a whole new light about him. He got a whole new energy about him. He's smiling differently than even when we saw him, and it was over then.
It was over then. Which is weird because knowing what we know now, I do find it odd how upset she was.
Right.
Because for them it had been...
Y'all was engaged at this point? I mean, we got to think like...
It's so confusing. And not... She can feel however she want to feel. Those are her feelings, let's be clear. So I'm not going to litigate those. But I'm just saying I thought she was going to cry.
I did too a couple times.
You know what I mean? That was odd. But Ikechi came on. He had on his hat and his glasses and all this.
I ain't gonna lie, the hat was sharp. I was like, where'd he get that hat from?
That hat was sharp. And I like the glasses. I thought I could tell that he was like, this process is almost over, thank the Lord. And you know, he said he didn't want to tell us he was dating or not, which was weird. They sit down, Ikechi and MM, and they chat or whatever the case may be. And actually, I was actually surprised because they went relatively early.
They did
in the reunion.
But I think at this point in their mind, they felt like this is really not the drama that we thought it was going to be, and so I think they was trying to get it out the way. So
we finally get the tea. The truth of the matter is that Ikechi was not sexually attracted to MM. Full stop. That's the reason why this everything
and we
unfolded.
Talked about that.
And you said that a while back, like I just don't feel like he's attracted to her. And it's so unfortunate because in his attempt to not embarrass her about not being sexually attracted to her, he embarrassed her far worse, I feel like. And himself for that matter. And this is what I mean when I say like, you're going to get a bad at it in either way. Everybody's going to have an opinion about it. Look at how we dragged Michelle. You know what I mean? We're going to have an opinion about it either way. But I do believe if he would have said I'm just not as attracted, people would have got on board with that.
I think so too. I think that in the past seasons and maybe even in different shows, people have gotten it for being like they're not attracted to their spouse, and I think that did change the tide a little bit how honest people are or not when it comes to attraction. Because I think for a while we saw people kind of catching the tomatoes online, and then all of a sudden it was a shift and nobody said it, and it was like all of y'all going through all these problems on all these different shows, and none of the problems are that you're just not actually physically attracted to them. Yeah. Like it's almost like so taboo now. Nobody says it. Even though they'll sit in front of somebody like an expert and they'll ask you, are you physically attracted to them? And they'll be like, oh, that's not the problem at all. No. Like, I'm not that shallow. And it's just like, it don't have to be shallow. Like, you did marry a stranger.
It does not have to be
You can
shallow.
say, you know what? That was a wild card coming into this situation because I signed up for this. And come to find out, the attraction is not there for me. And I think you're right. It is, even though they are so hypersensitive into trying to self-produce, I actually do feel like it would have gone over better.
Worlds better.
To cover it up.
Because then we would have known who Ikechi is. So we could have provided him some grace, right? We can't do that because you not only shut her down, but in turn you shut the viewers down as well.
Because also it legitimizes these other issues that are now in question. When you say, I felt like she was a little too overbearing with me, you know what I mean? When you say things like, I just felt like she was beating a dead horse all the time, right? Like now, post those conversations, we can see, oh, she got that a little bit in her, right?
Yes.
But if you're honest from the beginning, it doesn't sound like you're trying to scapegoat anything. You know what I mean?
Yes. And I want to be clear. You are shallow if you've gotten to a place where you will marry someone at first sight, okay? You sign the papers, you go through however long this 6-month process, however long it is. And at the point where you sign the papers and the only thing you can say is that I'm just not attracted to the person, you are shallow. I want to be clear about that because people talk about attractiveness as if that's not something you can figure out. Like, you know what I mean? I think that
But I'm saying you can admit to it and still go through the process so that people are aware that this is a struggle for you, but you're still involved.
I think you can admit to it, go through the process, and be in love. In the first season, Jamie Notice does not like her husband.
That's what I'm saying, but she doesn't get there unless she goes through the process.
And that's my point.
And now you can even, I don't want to use sympathize, but now you can understand what's happening because
we get it. You got married at first sight.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's understandable. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you would have said, I met my spouse, I'm not that attracted to them, but stayed, I wouldn't call you shallow. I would be like, all right, it was a wild card. There was a 50-50 chance that you were going to be attracted to this person, sight unseen, or you weren't. Right. So it's understandable for you to say, you know what, at first glance, I'm not really my vibe. But I'm still going to go through the process and figure it out.
But that's the thing, right? I can call you shallow if you don't go through the process.
Yeah.
Because if you allow something like looks to stop you from going forward with somebody and really getting to know them, you are shallow.
And it's only 6-8 weeks or whatever.
And it's only 8 weeks. Your brain could blow your brain out the water. Joe didn't even like dark-skinned girls before we dated.
Yeah. I was dating the light skin era.
Let's be for real, right? So until you just be in spaces where you get to know people, you don't know what'll change about your preference. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that he wouldn't be allowed not to be attracted. We get that. We want to see how people work through that.
Yeah.
And we want to call you some funky dog kids and then come at the end of the reunion and say, you know what, I'm proud of them because they worked that out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Look at Thomas and Camille.
Right.
So they talked about it. Now, did say that, but this is the other thing that gave me the ick, The man was honest. We finally get it out of Ikechi what it actually was, that he just wasn't that physically attracted to her. And she says, well, I can't tell because you definitely placed my hand on your whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. And I just was like, girl, that's the sword you want to die on?
But it's not even that. You can't be over somebody and have this much energy every time.
Your man is sitting in the bag.
No, he's literally 20 feet away from you. We know we were there.
You think I'm be talking about putting my hand with you?
But also be so hot and bothered by another mother jumper? That would be awkward for me. Like, are we not engaged, married? Who knows where the hell they at now? At the pace that they moving, and they done already had kids. Who knows? But
I'm so
you
bored.
can't be so, so past this, so evolved, so in love, and your temperature rises every time you talk about this. It just can't. Those two things contradict each other.
Let me tell you something that was really kind of contradictory as well. Thank you for that segue, honey. Juan is in a relationship, but he's still cool with Carla. This is weird to me.
But not only the contradiction of that, but the contradiction of, do you remember just a week ago when Juan said, hey, Carla, what do you think about meeting up every now and then?
And I was so proud of her for saying that.
And Carla said, no, I'm not doing that. Won't be me. It's the Netflix, the spirit of Netflix is getting all over everyone from Love is Blind. It's getting all over everybody. People are not standing their ground. It's running amok. It's a pandemic. Carla said, no, I'm not doing that with all the sassy, spicy attitude that she has in her body. only for us to get to the reunion. And they're like, oh, we hang out every day. We go to, we business plan together. We go to the coffee shop that she said she wasn't going to with him. They had the coffee shop together.
Let me tell you something. Who is this girlfriend? If you are of the belief that you gonna be texting my man about,
she friends with Carla. They go out together. They go to the coffee shop together. All three.
I don't find this funny.
Neo style. All three of them.
That was funny. Not Neo's, his pyramid, his Ponzi scheme of love.
A Ponzi scheme of love. It sounds like an interesting Tubi movie.
For real? But in real life, y'all be hanging out with y'all exes like that? And
yes,
shit?
they are weird. And we know this. We be seeing them in the real world. We've sat in rooms. And we've sat in our own room, in our own living room. And people are like, oh, yeah, I'm friends with my ex. And this one, y'all are weird.
It's funny because Joe was the ex I was friends with. But then when I became his woman,
look at this.
He didn't want me to be friends with my exes.
Because look where we at now.
What that mean?
You see what I mean? Like, why is this not a factor to you guys?
But you was wanted to be my friend, and then when we got together, you didn't want me to have no friends.
Because look at where we are now. The proof is in the pudding. I was right.
Oh, I didn't get it at first.
I know. That's why I had to repeat myself.
Thank you for repeating it, because now I get it. I didn't get it. But in real life, I feel like that's weird.
Yeah.
Why do we feel like we have to keep the lines of communication open? And part of it is that they went through this experience together. So that's why I give Juan and Carla the benefit of the doubt. But also, Joe, so what? The reason why I really do believe this, y'all, men treat women the way they do is because we do not stand on business.
Let me tell you, the not standing on business I can't even get the sentence out. The most not standing on business people in the world, I'm learning, is single women. In 2025, if you want somebody to not stand on business, find me a single woman in America.
Because Carla should have been like, no, y'all.
Hell, Carla had more smoke for Madison. She said, we're not friends. Me and Juan going to get coffee together, though. What? What's happening?
But you know what that is? She's got sisters. When you have sisters, your bond with women is much deeper than your bond you can have with a man.
I guess.
So it does. So you do feel like
she was
extra betrayed when a bitch do some shit like that. And you got to think, she kind of put...
She was laying in the bed next to this guy, though.
It's different, though.
It got to be.
As a person who has sisters, it is a bit different. Because you love differently, but you love so deeply. You tell women like all your secrets and this and that, and then they do some shit, and you be like, and you put me in the middle of that. That really will mess with you. It really will. But you're right. She did have more smoke for
sure,
Madison than she did have for Juan. I still felt like y'all. This is my. I'm gonna bring my soapbox out when I say this. Your most precious commodity is time. And the way that y'all allow people to access y'all and waste y'all motherfucking time is beyond me.
It's wild.
Because I know y'all think y'all gonna be 40 and 50 getting the man of y'all dreams. But we gotta be honest, this bad bitch is coming out of here every mother jumping day.
And they multiplying. They like, roaches. I don't know.
They done figured out how to contour their noses.
I mean,
make their booty bigger, make their waist smaller.
When we had a conversation, this is a real conversation that me and her had.
Oh my God,
I don't even know if it was multiple years ago. I think it was. And we talked about our thought process in the barometer of how many beautiful people are in the world, right?
Oh, yeah.
And mine was low. I was like, I think it's super low. Like, I think
the
like...
Seinfeld conversation.
Okay, maybe that's
how we started it.
Maybe that's how it came from. Long story short, it has adjusted for me. I believe it's in the multiples of multiples at this point. I ain't never seen as many beautiful people in the world. I mean, it's like you can hit a rock and hit a bad joint.
And I see a lot of beautiful women. I don't see a lot of beautiful men.
And that's what
I don't see a lot, like,
that's what
personally.
I'm talking about.
You know what I mean?
See beautiful women everywhere. And that's honestly what we was talking about when this conversation came up. I was just like, I just don't think there's a lot of, like, I think there's the average, and then most people fit below the average line. Not today, not in 2025.
And I believe you gonna find whoever you gonna find. What I'm getting at, if you serious about you, you will find them sooner. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you at a place where can't nobody come in and do no like weird shit with you, you'll find them sooner. The problem is that we think we finding the ones, and then they be done knocking you between the headboard and the nightstand, or cheating, or doing this and doing that. But I mean, when you find the one you want, it's going to be when you say, can't nobody waste my time. Like my time, not only can they not waste my time, it's not to be wasted.
But people, the truth of the matter is, I think that you said that the one you want, but that's the issue right there. Because people change from wanting a person that they want. Now they want a person that everybody else wants.
This is off topic, but who gives a damn? You just sent me a clip by Hill Harper.
Hill Harper.
Very good, Joe.
It was a Hill.
Okay, sorry. So you just sent me a clip by Hill Harper, and he's speaking with, I cannot remember. Carrie Champion, whom I love. But also was a part of the gang who, I don't even think Carrie won a man, which is cool. She don't, or not want a man, but that's not what she's centering, which I love that for her, right? If she doesn't already have one. Hill Harper says that he gave women a test, he gave men a test. And what he found is that when women describe the man that they want, they think they're describing a man on their level, but they describing a man up here.
He said they describe somebody who is a mix between Barack Obama, Denzel Washington, and God.
Jesus Christ.
I said, oh. But it tracks. I see. It's so funny because as soon as I saw it, I almost didn't even finish the video, and I sent it to Zar because I'm like, we just talked about this, and I just literally said this thing where he said that the real issue that I'm seeing is 95% of the women want to date 2% of the men.
And the truth is that may be the case. You know what I mean? And I feel like the difference is that we all are vying for things that are out of our leagues. You know what I mean? And I think you can have the person that you want. The problem is that a lot of people are playing down and a lot of people are punching up. And I think that, and I know that's like two separate things, but I mean that. Like a lot of women are either they are aspiring for something that is so absolutely unattainable that they don't even allow themselves the chance to meet anybody. Like, you know what I mean? Like you could meet the man of your dreams, but you are so rigid on what a dream is to you that you are locking out all these other people. You know what I mean? You punching so far up that it's like, it ain't even nobody up there. God damn it.
How about that?
And not to say that, and I really don't believe you have to settle. I genuinely don't believe you have to settle. But I do believe you will compromise on things. And I think the reason why because I remember I was asking somebody about one of their friends, they got married. And I said, do you believe that she compromised, settled on anything? First I said settled. She was like, no. I said, well, do you believe she had to compromise on anything? Because, you know, they're not older, but they have a certain age. And it was, you know what I mean? They got together, did everything. She was like, no, I don't think so. And then I thought, nobody would say when you're married, you know what you're compromising on. You know what I mean? That's not what you would lead with in a conversation.
Of course, yeah.
To somebody who isn't in your relationship.
Yeah.
Or, you know what I mean, isn't married, to be honest. Like, because I would only talk about my grievances with people who are married. And that's my truth. Because otherwise, you just don't get it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think that that's the case. A lot of married people are out here and happily married. And they are compromising on things. But they're not saying that out loud because they're happy and don't want to be talking to you single people, because a lot of what y'all say don't make no fucking sense.
A lot of it don't make no fucking sense. And it's given the 95% is chasing the small percent, because it's, to me, it's not a matter of compromising or dating down. It's more so a matter of being realistic. And I think that I see such an unrealistic point of view from a lot of singles on these shows and singles that we talk to in real everyday life. It's so funny because they brought up Barack and Michelle on the reunion a lot.
Because KT said he wanted Michelle
Obama. Have y'all
Obama.
not listened to Michelle Obama already touched on this? Number one, what we do know for a fact is that when she met Barack, he wasn't Barack Obama. That's just real life, right? And then number two, she said, who the hell told y'all was getting everything y'all wanted in a perfect person? She said they had 7 bad years or something.
She said like 10.
She said something crazy. Some multiple of years of bad years.
Yeah.
Right? So these are things. We also have selective hearing in the public space. Nobody heard that. Nobody heard. We just heard that he got elected twice, and that's her man. And they have 2 beautiful kids and a beautiful dog. That's not their story, though.
Right.
And I think the difference is when I hear these numbers, they track, because so many of y'all are looking for perfect people, and the people who you're looking up to didn't live their story ain't perfect, and they don't live a perfect life, and their spouse ain't perfect.
Right. But also, what does that mean?
What?
I want a Michelle Obama.
That's what I'm speaking to. It means I want a perfect person. Like I think people reference these celebrity couples, and we have such a false sense of reality around them. You know, we say
we romanticize.
Yes,
everything.
and it's such a I want Beyonce and Jay. Y'all didn't see Beyonce's sister beating Jay-Z's ass in an elevator just years ago? How do we forget about that?
Come on.
Nothing is perfect about them.
But don't be
Nothing
talking
is
about
perfect.
our friends'
Nothing
personal things.
Huh?
So don't be talking about our friends' personal issues.
Nothing.
Okay?
But it was so not personal. It was very public and viral.
It was, but we don't need to talk about it because when we around them, I don't want them to know that.
But this is my point. My point is that there's such a selective hearing and seeing, right? We saw that and just forgot about it, and then put them back in an untouchable perfect space that they don't live in, right? We do the same thing with Barack and Michelle. We do the same thing with so many celebrity couples, and it's like, y'all, the truth of the matter is y'all need to listen to the real story. If you listen to their real stories, that's the part that would be more relatable.
And I also believe you can find somebody perfect for you.
Yes, but
I think that's not what people are looking for.
Okay, yeah, that's definitely not what people are looking for.
Because I do believe perfection can exist in your life. Like I think you can find something and say, even with the compromise, this is perfect for me.
And I think, but I don't believe that people get that in the real world. You know what I mean? The reason why I was so adamant about Zar being my person is because I always felt she was perfect for me. So I felt like,
do you feel that way now?
1,000%. I felt so strong in that because it's not something that I had to piece together. It wasn't a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde thing. It wasn't an experiment, right? I just felt like this person is perfect for me, which led to my strong conviction about us being together dating back to when we was teenagers, right? But I don't feel, when I hear some of y'all talk and describe people that y'all want, just like, I don't want to say his name, Hill Harper, just like Harper said, I hear what he described. But like I hear a lot of people describe these people that are not even on their level. He said, well, a lot of women feel like they asking for their somebody on their level, and then when you look at it on paper, it's like, this person is not on your level. This person is a deity, right? I hear that a lot, so I believe the numbers. I don't even need to double check them. I believe the number. I believe just in life. I also believe it's 95% going for 5%. I hear y'all talk or whatever, and I'm just like, this is not lining up. The math is not mathing for y'all.
Do you feel like Carrie? I know I'm on a tangent, but I just got to go there since we got time because this episode was okay. Did you feel like Carrie Champion wanted to push back at first?
Yes, because
I felt like she took it personal.
Because the reality of it is that people don't like to hear this uncomfortable information. People want to believe that whatever bullshit that they're striving for is obtainable, right? And my issue with it is y'all are not looking through the lens of reality, because you are looking through the lens of, well, if Michelle could have it, why can't I have it? When that's not, like we just talked about, that's not her story isn't perfection.
And it's, you know what I mean? What is attainable is not what is controllable. Y'all want to be able to control things. You know what I mean? So therefore, you can't attain that. Like, you know what I mean? Right. Like, you can't control these things, like these other things that another human has to have. Right. Because the truth is, somebody can have everything on your checklist and you still don't like them. Ikechi.
Right.
They asked him, did you, we basically gave you a Michelle Obama. Right. And he said, I don't know.
He said, no, you didn't.
Why would he do MM like that?
He said, no, that's not what y'all gave me.
Which, in truth, if I'm keeping it 100 and somebody said they wanted a Michelle Obama, which is also weird because we in Chicago, and then you would say you want a Michelle Obama. It just reeks of rehearsed. If I were somebody who was looking at the cards of these people, I would say MM is a Michelle Obama.
And for somebody, she is, right? Like, I'm not saying every great person is going to be your great person, right?
Yes.
I believe that MM is not meant for Ikechi, right? I believe that he can one day he can find his Michelle Obama, and I don't believe that it is MM. And I'm just saying, for in general, like, I believe that you can find your perfect person.
Yes.
Right? And I just think that in order to do that, you also have to live in a place of reality where you're not trying to find everybody else's perfect person.
Right. I told you guys Madison and Alan speak, and she just lets it go that they had an instant connection. David and her. One thing Madison said that stood out to me, Joe, was that she said, and we said this too, she wishes that the couples didn't even get to see each other because she wonders, like I said, how that would have affected her relationship with Alan if she just hadn't met anybody at the time. Because she said, you know what I mean? Like the sequester
we
piece.
talked about it. And I say that I don't really like the idea. That's when I gave the baby analogy. I don't really like when, you know, when they take these couples and then they throw them in a mix with these other new couples. And now they're not only learning their spouse, but they're learning these other random names and energies that are thrown into their space. And they don't get to incubate and they don't get to really lock in with each other so soon in the process too. Like, even if you were going to introduce to other couples, wait till week 10, 12, 11 or something.
Literally wait till the 1 month.
Right.
We don't need to see anybody until after a month. Let us get into our homes. Let us work that out. Let us do all those things.
Honestly, Zar, if I'm being honest, I think they do it for drama.
They do it for moments like this.
Yeah.
You're absolutely correct. She was, and not to say that I don't, and that's just to give her a little bit of grace, because I do see that as a flaw in the process. And you know what I was wondering, I'm like, do they do a lessons learned? Because
no, they don't.
Kevin said something real too. In the beginning, they did sequester them.
Yeah, they didn't. They didn't do this.
You were very much separated from. They didn't even live in the same buildings.
Yeah. I think they introduce it because they know it's going to cause more chaos, and it's a little bit of TV. It's a little bit of TV magic. I think they do the same thing on other shows where they bring back single people. They bring back people who are not even couples. Why would you, in any world, in any culture, why would you pair two people and then be like, let's reintroduce their exes? Nobody would do that.
Like what?
Nobody would do that in their right mind who's trying to allow this couple to win. That's just not something you would do. And so to me, the only reason why you would do it is production value.
But what that is showing me is that the production went from centering the experiment to centering the drama.
Yeah.
Because I do believe there was a time, there was a time where the women, I don't even think the women got to see each other.
No, they just wanted the couples to be couples.
Yes.
They just wanted them to lock in and do life together, which I can get with that because, like I said before, life is going to life on its own. You do not have to add no yeast to it.
You just don't. But we are in this era of like more drama. And
even this is probably giving them amazing ratings. It's going to be a couple swap every season. I mean, they might start weeding it into the programming. Like, now this week is an out week. You can have an out. You can get with Ashley or you can stay with Rachel. Let us know next week. I could just tell they're gonna make it a thing now. I think this I would love to see the numbers from this season. I believe it was probably wildly successful.
I think it was. I really do think it was. But I do like that, not like that, but I did appreciate Madison saying that, you know what I mean? Because it does add a little bit of color. Like when you introduce, you're already at a place where you're vulnerable enough to marry somebody at first sight. So you kind of are a little bit open to affection and everything like that from a stranger. So if you introduce men into that, you know what I mean? It does other men. I can see how you can get caught up.
I mean, you also you're not tethered to this person yet. So you also have no sense of loyalty.
Right.
You have no sense of connection with this person. You're trying to build that, but y'all don't actually have that.
But that takes me back to my point. This person never had any loyalties to you ever, and that's been made to be very clear, right? It's always been about her, which is fine. I love bitches like that, but the fact that it's always been about her and you can't sit in a room and say, I don't think nothing about you because you don't think about me. Like, we got to stop being martyrs for people too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because then you get walked all over. And in a sense, as much as I don't think Alan is a pushover, that's pushover behavior. Because I'd have showed her in that moment. Ain't nobody, you know what I mean? Like, no, like, and it's not, and to me, it's not to be mean. It's to be like, you don't think about me, bitch, and you never did, and I don't think about you. Mm-hmm. They at the end of their conversation like, oh, Didn't she say she wanted to meet his girlfriend or some shit like that?
Yeah, they was planning on it. Because the girlfriend said she wanted to meet her too. But this the weird shit y'all do. Zar, we too old for this. It's us.
It's us.
We're
the problem.
You know that.
Are you dumb?
This is how they talk in the streets. We know a couple very well that was together and they are not together anymore, and it was not by any means an amicable, nice and cute breakup. Hell, they friends. They talk every goddamn day now. You know what I mean? So this is your world, and we just in it.
You're right. You know what I mean? Like, I think that there is something to that ideology or whatever the case may be. Like, I feel like, why are y'all insistent on having to keep people in your life? I really do not get that. The Lord is testing y'all, and y'all are failing.
I've banished people for less.
Not bad.
For far, I mean, ask my sister. I was messing with somebody. My sister wanted to go out somewhere and bring them somewhere in the vicinity. It might have just been the radius. It might have just been county lines. I said, no, don't bring that. No, she can't come around here. For less. Y'all doing all this weird. Y'all having knockdown, drag out, blow ups, all this other people getting cheated on, and y'all are crazy.
I also think that's a symptom of being like single. Like, you just got to keep everybody the fuck around. But I'm high key. I don't know if I give loner, but I really am a loner. Like, you know what I mean? So like, I got my sisters and I'm cool. Like, you know what I mean? I really don't need a lot of energy around me. Y'all really need like other people's energy, and that really is sad to me.
No, seriously.
It's really sad to me because, like, Alan, you don't have better people you want to be around? You don't have better people that you need to introduce your girlfriend to? Like, better people? Like, in what world would you introduce your now girlfriend to a bitch who didn't give a fuck about you and embarrassed you on motherfucking TV? Like, somebody explain it to me. You asking if you... Then let me tell... It's so much silly shit that happened in this episode that burnt me down. Madison and David bought an investment property together. Let me tell you something, ladies. Do not be out here buying investment properties with men that y'all not with. That is the dumbest shit on earth. It's dumb. It is dumb. You can't even really take advantage of any tax incentives if you don't have it locked up in an LLC, a trust, or some kind of corporation.
But that's also us being old. They doing a lot of stuff with people who they having babies with them. Y'all over here talking about y'all in an online war about getting married.
I'm about to snatch this wig off. Y'all get on my nerves so bad. Go ahead.
Y'all are in an online war about getting married, but nobody got a problem with popping out a whole human being with a stranger. Y'all don't even know these men. These men don't claim y'all. Y'all popping babies out.
But that's the only argument they can have, because they can't have an argument about a man wanting to be their husband.
It's just weird behavior.
That was mean.
So
y'all.
they do. I mean, it's just so the buying of property and all of that stuff. That's very uneventful and normal for this culture, today's culture, because it's so they just. I mean, y'all having babies with people who don't have no responsibility to y'all.
Do you but did y'all see the thing that happened with Anthony Edwards and his baby mama, who is 38 years old, by the way? Bitch, you too old to be messing with some goddamn 23-year-old child.
1,000%.
She gets pregnant with him, files for a motion for child support in California. And he in Atlanta, he files for a motion to have it dismissed because he told her ass he didn't want no goddamn kids. And don't you know the state of Georgia threw her case out and said he don't got to pay no goddamn child support.
But y'all want to talk about getting married or not?
And you know what, though? If I could keep it 100, good.
Good.
We got to start shaming people, because you know what else people say? And I know we all over the place today. I don't give a damn, okay? Y'all on our couch. Listen, you know what else people do that really blows my mind? Well, if he didn't want to have a baby, he should have wrapped it up. As if you don't have any weight. You could have just kept your legs closed. Why are we putting it all on him?
I just don't know why are we trivializing bringing a human into the world? That's what's weird to me. Y'all think that it's more. Y'all put more weight on moving in with somebody than y'all do popping out somebody's kid, a whole human, and then having to raise said human. Once the human is in the world, you also are responsible for the human. But like y'all got more energy about walking down the aisle and signing a piece of paper. Y'all are like, that's what I'm saying. It's us. because they think that this is normal. The amount of conversations that I've had with people who are just like, I'm just gonna have a kid like with anybody. I literally had a conversation with somebody who basically said that to me.
You wouldn't believe it. I've had even like, and we're not older people, but we waited to have our children, or you know what I mean, have babies or whatever the case may be. And even how people talk to me, and I had to let somebody know straight up to their face, you can't. In what world would I give a man a baby and he ain't gave me shit?
Nothing.
Y'all don't love yourselves. And I mean that with all due respect. The greatest gift on earth is life. That's the greatest gift you could give. And I would give it to a motherfucker that don't even want to put me on his insurance? How am I going to get the baby here? It's like
the bar is in the basement. The bar is in hell.
The bar is in hell. And the problem is that we've stopped shaming people. The moment we started giving 16-year-old girls baby showers
and TV shows,
the tide started changing. We should be shaming people, not because of the position that you in, but you don't get to get everything that everybody else get. There is something so, and this is not like, oh, I did it better or whatever the case may be. What I'm saying is there is something so special about having a man committed to you. And then you both decide as a unit, you're going to commit to something else.
Yeah.
Do you just hear what I said? A lot of y'all are allowing people to make decisions on your behalf, or this is what you would tell us, that they making a decision on your behalf by dumping a load in you. And that's really getting corny as shit too. And I'm calling it shame because the moment we realize we are the ones who hold the cards here, there will be a shift in how women are treated on this earth. The problem is they have fed us a narrative and we just keep going with it and going with it and going with it. When in truth, and I'm not saying to the women who just had babies by themselves, this conversation is not for them. Girl, do whatever the fuck you want to do. This conversation is for people who think that they don't have a decision in the matter when it comes to you making a baby with a man who ain't even with, he just screwing on you. Mm-hmm. And you know, the truth is,
it don't be a secret. Yes.
I had a friend, and I'm about to tell y'all what I told her, and she probably gonna curse me out again because she cursed me out in a moment. I ain't give a damn. She said she was having problems with this man, her baby daddy. And she like, he ain't doing this, he ain't doing that. And on God, I said to her, has he ever bought, she was like, he ain't buying the baby diapers, he ain't buying the baby's food, whatever. I said, well, did he buy you food? No. So then why, and what in your brain said this person who never gave you a goddamn thing but dick was going to give you anything else but that for this child? That's your baby. He don't even.
It don't be new behavior.
It
That's
don't
what
be new
weird
behavior.
To me. Like, these people be running around in the world with no care and no responsibility shown to you or anything that they do. And then y'all want to get up on social media and gripe and start GoFundMe's about your deadbeat situation.
And I don't be feeling. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest. I very rarely feel bad.
I don't.
I very rarely feel bad.
I almost never do.
And that's because, let me tell you something. I know y'all know who y'all be dealing with.
Yeah.
Y'all in your mind think your pussy, you got the pussy that you could throw up in the air and it turn into the sun, and then he gonna start acting right, and that's really what it is. So it's like, because the truth is, in all my dealings with humans, I've never encountered a mother jumper I wanted to give a baby to. That's my truth. You know what I mean? Like, and have dated like great men. So I know.
And now it's like a free for all, yo.
It's like the first thing y'all do.
It's like the first thing y'all do.
And I'm coming at, and this is a thing on women, because I think women are smarter than men. So when women make stupid ass decisions, I just be like,
but
girl.
I've always said that these men, and I've said this to men, and I've said it to some of my women friends, they go as far as you let them go. You know what I mean?
Child.
And I stand on that. So I am more disappointed when I see people popping out babies just for any situation, and then talking about how the boy. We was watching the one show, the Netflix show with Ocho and Sherelle. She got the young girl on the show. The baby daddy is a complete deadbeat, right? She crashing out over this man.
Oh, Kodak Black.
Fighting girls in the street, crying about how he ain't around. Well, that's
because she don't want to lose her purse.
But it's like not. The one thing that she told us was that it wasn't new behavior. He's been doing this for years. And then you had another baby. She got like 3 kids by the boy or something like that.
but it's cognitive dissonance.
Yeah.
And the truth is, the mama sitting up there like, girl, do your thing. Keep having them. Because he got to pay for it. But these new laws, y'all gonna get real salty out here. Y'all having these babies,
about to get awkward.
And that don't make you don't get an award for being a martyr.
You don't.
And I'm not saying like some shit just happens, y'all, and obviously that's the case, right? I'm saying there is a population of people who choose this life.
Oh yeah, a big one.
And we can't be pretending of that. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying. We see y'all with the baby shower photos and it's just you and
the solo ones.
And this is not a shame thing. It's a thing where I'm trying to tell y'all most precious commodity is time. The greatest gift you can give any human is life. So why would you think you a God? Like you are a God. You are delivering something into this world nobody else could do. And if you thought that of yourself, a lot of you bitches wouldn't be in this position and it'd be stressing me out.
1,000%.
And that's why my girlfriends be cursing me out because I be saying it straight to their face. Like, you look stupid. You want me to be mad at him? Bitch, I'm mad at you. Why you dumb ass open up your legs so motherfucker that didn't buy you no goddamn food? Is you dumb?
No, for real.
But that's here nor there. One of the other things that tickled me was when Kevin called. I know we all over the place, but when Kevin called David Peter Pan.
First of all, hilarious.
I about fell out my chair.
Kevin was not playing with these bulls. Like Kevin, because he also made David answer the question. He said, "Okay, David, that's cool, but you're gonna answer this question or no?" I just appreciate that energy. Because y'all know how many shows we be watching and they be playing. It just be a game. They be wasting our time.
They do be playing. But what I don't like is I believe that Kevin got the shoes. Watched all the episodes and everything like that. I don't believe Kevin got what was on the cutting room floor. So sometimes he asks questions as if he has the information about the behind the scene that I don't think he has. Like he said to Michelle said they had been lying to me for weeks. And he was like, well, really, David was lying to you. Madison wasn't lying to you. She was like, no, we were in a group for weeks. We're going out talking about this situation. And she's sitting in my face and not saying nothing like, damn, girl, that's crazy, whatever. She's lying too. But I didn't like that because like, what you trying to let Madison off the hook, sir? Don't do that. Like, you know what I mean? And in truth, and this might sound weird, why am I more mad at Madison than I am at David?
Because Madison had a able and willing partner.
That's why.
That's the thing. The worst part about this thing, and I said, I told y'all last week, I don't care. But the worst part about it is Alan. Because Madison actually had somebody who was trying.
Yes.
Like, and I think that's the big difference between the two couples. Stevie Wonder could see that Michelle really didn't give a goddamn about David from the beginning. But Alan was so into this. And not only was he into it, but he thought she was into him at some point. He thought, oh, we're good. That's why when they was bringing it to Alan at first, he like, nah, because we good. Like he thought that they were actually trending up somehow. God bless his soul. He thought they were kind of trending up. So part of Alan's crash out is because when you drop from higher heights, the splash is bigger.
Yes.
And so Alan was really like in a place where he was like, oh, this is messed up, because not only was he trying the entire time, but he actually was attracted to her. He could see a future with them. Every time he was in front of a microphone, he was saying all these glowing things about her, even though we thought she's a terrorist. I don't know what you see.
Which the truth is, he's only still saying that now because he finds her attractive.
And maybe that too.
Like that's really all it is. Like pretty privilege get you a long way, which I'm not. I mean, I get it. You know what I mean? But I do think he could have had more smoke. I stand by that. Michelle talking to Alan, trying to pretend like she trying to put a battery in Alan back. Like, you don't feel away because they just sitting up there lying and everything like that. I thought that was weird a little bit.
Yeah, like
let it go.
Stop trying to build your case. Like you don't have to do it. No, like you don't have to do it. You understand that the cast has been closer to the situation than the rest of us. So their indifference towards you and your plight speaks volumes to us who weren't there.
Right.
You know what I mean? They've been all up in the mix. Stop trying to. You're not gonna win. You're not gonna shuffle and scroungel up any more votes.
And that's kind of how I feel as well. Like I feel like, girl, we get it. I can be on your side, still think you're wrong.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or I can understand what you're saying and still feel like you were wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't need you to kind of like, you want us to make a case so everybody can like really hate David. And I don't think that that's necessary.
No, because we can acknowledge that what David did was wrong.
Period.
But at the same time, acknowledge y'all was never going to be together in the first place. And we can move on because you're not really hurt about David. You're hurt about Madison.
You're hurt about your ego.
You're hurt about your ego.
You really can't believe somebody would try you like that. That's really all this come down to. And I would have rather you sat up there and said, I think you're trash and I think you're trash and I really don't have nothing else to say to y'all. Then you sitting up there being like, it's not about you, it's about the lies. I would have rather you did that, because then I would have thought you was a queen, bitch. I would have been like, yes, that bitch went out there. She went all the way out on it. I would have rather you did that than trying to. You don't have to get us to understand why this is jacked up. We all see it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you don't have to keep making the case that it's because they lied. All you had to say, I would have went up there and said, I don't really need to litigate this at all. Y'all see it. You ain't shit. You ain't shit. Y'all need not talk to me at all. Point blank, the period.
And
y'all
that would have been better for you, because people are questioning your reaction because you keep putting too much on it and you keep talking about it.
That's my point.
So that's why if you would have just kept it short, because even what's his name, the moderator,
Kevin.
Even Kevin was like, so why are you mad? Like, he basically asked you, why are you
mad? He literally
mad?
said that. The last thing I want to end with is David and Madison is wearing rings, y'all.
Yeah, they was wearing rings, and they said that it is a commitment to each other, but that's what a wedding ring is. A commitment to each other. I don't know how this ring differs. So if it does, y'all have to explain it to me in better detail.
I just really be thinking people corny as shit. My problem is, what I really do understand, Joe, is that I got the juice, and I really am a cool kid. Like, a lot of my life, I didn't think I was a cool kid, right? And the more I kind of like do my own thing, I really realize I'm the wave high key. So when I be seeing people do corny shit,
you just gotta call it out.
I can't. Like, I just be like, bro, this is corny. Like, you know what I mean? Like, y'all are weird. Now, y'all want people to accept this so bad. When he said his parents was mad at him, I thought absolutely correct, because you went out there and embarrassed this beautiful people and everything like that. And if they wasn't embarrassed, I would think they was a little bit weird. But now that I know they real ones, and they can say what you did was foul, I bang with that. You see how Madison's father didn't do that?
You could
but
tell
David's
that
daddy
he
did.
come from a good. You could tell that he come from a good cloth.
Wonderful people. You can tell. You know what I mean?
That's part of why we liked him. That's part of why I
truth.
liked him in the beginning. Like, I could just tell his family. That's why I didn't like it was too much being put on the thing, because I'm like, also cultural, which we talked about.
Which I also think it's still. I still think it's a cultural thing.
It is a cultural thing. That's why I was like, we putting too much on this thing about him being in the house, having his own apartment in the bottom of his parents' house, who are beautiful people who he helps them out with and all this other stuff. Like,
but I also think it's a lot to move in with. I
it
don't
is,
know.
but
I have two
it
thoughts.
is, but my issue with situation was, Michelle, you was never moving into the house. They got you your own place from the beginning of this experiment. You never had to worry about him, because they talked about it on the jump. Well, yeah, I just really couldn't get over him being in his parents' house. You never had to be in the parents' house. Right. You went there to view it, and then you went back to the same apartment building that the last 3 seasons, it looks like, have been filmed. It's like the same building in every city for some reason. But
you also get a deal.
No, they probably do, though, kid. They probably got to do.
Get a deal. But I do remember saying to Michelle, I told her straight up, when I saw the spot, I was kind of like underwhelmed, because I wanted it to be different. You know what I mean? Granted, David, that's no dig on you, because when I lived with my mama, I lived in the middle room that I lived in when I was in high school. So that's not a dig.
But my
you know
thing
what
is,
I mean?
for this experiment, we doing a whole lot of talking about somebody's home before they got on the show. They get a place for you. So now that's out the equation. That was my real beef with Michelle. Move the hell on. You don't have to live there. You live in a beautiful apartment at the rooftop in downtown Chicago. Why are we still talking about his old crib?
Because I guess she thinking, what we going to do when we leave here?
No, she thinking, I want it out, because I don't think this ain't the light-skinned man I asked for. We forgot she asked for that too, huh?
She wanted Barack Obama. I think we did it. We done talked about everything under the sun today. Mm-hmm. So I hope y'all enjoyed it. Thank you so much for joining us on the Conner's Couch. I'm your girl, Intisar Eleanor. This is my beautiful husband, Joseph Conner. And we'll see you beautiful mother jumpers later.